We're on the lookout this morning for Congressman Mike Rogers, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee. We have some things to talk with him about concerning Osama bin Laden. And one of them is, I haven't heard anybody talk about the fact that Osama bin Laden supposedly had kidney failure. Remember, 9 years ago, we heard about the fact that he might even have been on dialysis, and there was some talk that he had Marfan's disease. So how did he make it all those years? And when they invaded his home and killed him, was there a dialysis machine or any evidence like that? That's one of the sort of conspiracy theories that is going around. Some people are saying, is it wag the dog all over again? Was he dead for a long time already? And then now we decided to stage a little show. That's what some people are saying. We had a caller yesterday, in fact. It's Firekeepers Friday. Firekeepers Casino is, does anybody bet 13 on the roulette wheel? That's what I'm wondering. Is there a 13 on the roulette wheel even? I don't play roulette because the odds aren't very good, but some people do, and they do well. And at Firekeepers Casino, I'd be curious to know, because it's Friday the 13th. So would you play 13 on the roulette wheel? It's Firekeepers Friday. We are in the American Metal Roof studio, and the phone number for them is 877-569-4700. One of the other questions we want to ask Congressman Rogers about is whether he is going to take the government up on its offer for certain members of Congress to see the photos of Osama bin Laden dead. The CIA is allowing members of the House and Senate Intelligence and Armed Services Committees, that means Mike Rogers is one of them, he can see the pictures if he wants to. And so we'll find out if he's going to when he chats with us. Coming up shortly, we're going to get a stock market report for you in a matter of seconds from Grand Rapids. Jamie Westenbarger will be with us on the phone in about 1 minute from right now. We want to see how the market did this week. And also, there was some interesting news when it comes to the stock market happening at the Ford Motor Company. And I want to tell you about this here. Ford Motor Company had a stock vote and with the shareholders. Their annual meeting was Thursday, and the shareholders rejected a bid to eliminate special voting rights for the Ford family. But the proposal received its highest tally ever. A total of 31.2% of shareholders voted in favor, above the 29.2% that the proposal won last year. So is it sort of like the royal family? The Ford family holds a special class of stock worth 40% of the voting shares, but really has a small equity stake, but that gives it effective control of the company. Jamie Westenbarger is on the other end of our line right now. He's got a radio show starting this weekend on the Michigan Talk Network. It's called Keeping Your Money, and you can learn about it at keepingyourmoney.com. He's with Forest Hills Financial and the host of that program. You can hear that show in Lansing, Grand Rapids, Saginaw, Muskegon, Petoskey, Traverse City, and Mount Pleasant. Good morning to you.
Morning, Mike Patrick.
Can you sort that out for us a little bit? The Ford Motor Company annual meeting, the shareholders rejected a bid to eliminate special voting rights for the Ford family, but the proposal did get its highest tally ever. How does it work? The Ford family has a special sort of class of stock worth about 40% of the voting shares, but they really only have a small equity stake.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of companies that have legacies where the family originally started the company and they wanted to spread out the equity share to other members of, usually it starts out as other members of the company, so they've handed it out to employees and that type of thing, but they still want to control the company, and they don't want to end up with, someone voting them out, basically, so they maintain a higher level of voting capacity. So even though they don't hold what would normally be a majority of shares for voting, they do hold a much larger voting percentage.
Sort of like the royal family then, huh?
Yeah, I guess that's one way of putting it. Yeah, sure, absolutely. It'd be like if you settled in Lansing earlier than anyone else, Michael Patrick, so every time you went to vote for mayor, you got 3 votes instead of 1.
I see. The Dow yesterday was up 66, the S&P gained 7, and the NASDAQ was 18 points higher. What kind of week was it for the market otherwise?
The market's been pretty volatile. There's been a lot of activity in the commodities market, which has caused a lot of instability in the market overall, and we've seen a lot of swings from highs to lows. The market, of course, finished positive yesterday, but at one point in time was actually down over 100 points. So there's been a lot of data kind of flying out, pretty regularly on what's going on with gold and silver and those types of things. And interestingly, we sent out an article to people that subscribe to our newsletter this week about gold and how it's really one of the most volatile things you can be involved in. It's not a security; it's a commodity, and it's only worth what somebody's going to pay you for it. It doesn't produce a dividend. It doesn't produce income, and it's kind of become the hot button on a lot of these national television shows, and a lot of people are probably getting involved in it that shouldn't because they don't realize really how volatile it actually is, and it's had a lot of effect on the market overall for the last couple of weeks as well. But S&P 500 is up over 17% for the last 52 weeks, so the market's still very strong.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck this weekend in your brand new radio program, and we can learn more about it at keepingyourmoney.com. That's when you'll find the times for the program in your market, keepingyourmoney.com on the Michigan Talk Network. And thank you very much. Good luck. Break a leg, as they say in show business.
Great weekend.
Well, indeed. That's Jamie Westenbarger. He's the managing partner of Forest Hills Financial Incorporated and a registered principal of American Portfolios Financial Services, INC, member FINRA/SIPC. APFS is not affiliated with Forest Hills Financial. Any discussion of a company's in general is general in nature and not a recommendation or a solicitation for a security. Okay, you got that? Thank you very much. We are on the lookout still for Congressman Mike Rogers. Kyle Malin will be with us from MERS News coming up shortly. What kind of horse trading went on yesterday in order to pass the governor's tax plan through the Senate? What happens now that it goes back to the House for a little bit of adjusting? Who are the winners? Who are the losers politically? Yesterday, too, we understand that the Senate Democratic leader Gretchen Whitmer had a major role. Obviously, the Lieutenant Governor Brian Kelly breaking the tie had a major role. And what happens next? So that's all coming out shortly. Later in the program, Alex Koss from Eagle Eye Golf Club. That happens to be in the Lansing area. A lot of people come here, though, because they have an island green just like the one at the TPC Sawgrass. It's about the same yardage, too. It's exactly the same because it's basically from the same design company, Pete Dye, who did the TPC Sawgrass. You're seeing it on television. You can play that hole right here at Eagle Eye, and he'll tell us how many balls go in the water in a year. Gilbert Gottfried, we'll hear from that comedian coming up shortly, too. Bud Lynch is going to be with us on the passing of the Red Wings. Their season is over. Albert Scaglione from Park West Gallery about a Michigan commissioned Andy Warhol self-portrait that sold for $38.4 million. $38.4 million just the other day. And Patricia Heaton, who was known for her role on Everybody Loves Raymond, will be with us, too. It's Michael Patrick Shields all across Michigan. Find us at AmericanMetalRoofs.com. Remember, it's Friday the 13th, and it is Firekeepers Friday as well. Back in a flash.